it was just a shame we didn't get to see like peak capacity.
You never do, and like even jacking. Like jocking, like he's like by the time he's like when Arya meets him, he's caged up. And then he's doing her favors. He's not taking out like his targets.
Right,
And then when she sees him, he's basically like grooming somebody else.
So he's like more in the mentorship role versus like getting busy in the fields.
Right. So that's why it was so nice, like, but there was I think a Khal Drogo reference to when Daenerys is talking to Sansa and she's like, have you ever loved anyone else? And she's like, yeah. He was like, what was he like? She was like taller. Yeah.
The way they say trying to play my man John with the height though.
Right. And then but it was a nice payoff with Arya, cause we've been like I love how like the Red Woman and Arya both realized at the exact same time
she told her,
that she's like, I know you. She's like, I know you too. She's like, yeah, we remember what I told you last time. You will close many eyes, more eyes than anybody, like red eyes, green eyes, brown eyes. Then they both kind of look at each other and go, blue eyes.
And what's so crazy, like I've literally since I run Game of Thrones back every single season, the whole thing, right? So that happens in season 3 when she tells her that. So that means I've literally seen that scene like I can't do the math, like 6 times, right? I've seen it 6 times. Wait, 8? No, 8 times. This is season 8.
Yeah.
So I've literally seen that scene 8 times. Actually no, because I would have seen season 3.
So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
season 1 and 2
6 times.
So I've seen it 6 times, right? And I know that line that stands out. And the whole time it never even like dawned on me. And what's crazier still is like some people I guess were upset. I heard about Arya killing him. I mean, yes, it would have been I guess more satisfying for Jon to like have a one-on-one duel with him and like fulfill his prophecy or whatever. But still, like they literally show like Sam, when he's at the Citadel, he's looking through like a book of the records, and they have a picture of Arya's dagger in there. They don't say anything about it. He doesn't read a passage about it, but there's like this camera literally focuses on that page for like a good like 3 seconds, and it shows that dagger, and they keep referring back to it, obviously from season 1 it's been in play. So obviously I guess it's special. It may in fact even have been the only weapon possible of killing him potentially, but that's just interesting. I think I just want to get a little bit more explanation about like what happened there.
Well, I know she killed him with a dragon glass weapon. And
Valerian steel, actually, technically.
Oh, really?
The dagger was Valerian steel. So,
the dagger.
That's even, I think, probably maybe
that's even more. Possibly. Yeah.
I mean, but we don't really.
We know dragon glass kills them too, but
those are the two, instruments. Hey, dragon fire's out. I knew it wasn't gonna work. Like when she squared up on him and she got all gully and everything, I was like, nah.
It was like, how does dragon fire work? And it was like, we don't know. No one's ever tried. So that's more conspiracy theories that the Night King was a former Targaryen.
I mean, I don't think it's that. I just think it's as simple as the fact that like his magic, his cold magic is just so good. Because you've seen before, like when they attacked the tree with Bran and they the children of the forest like did whatever they set the ring of fire around it, and the whites couldn't pass it. But like the White Walkers walked straight through. So literally what happened was the fire didn't go out. They just passed through the fire. It died down when they passed through. Then it came right back up after they left. So clearly they're just like immune to fire. Like sometimes. Because
remember in was it like season 1 or something? Remember they do like kill one.
They kill the whites with fire. They don't kill any White Walkers.
Gotcha.
Now Dragonfire is probably a completely different thing, but
right.
That's the Night King, baby.
Yeah.
I don't mean no.
So I mean that's what like most of the like people who like do Game of Thrones videos have been saying like that's no guarantee that he's a Targaryen just because he survived. The big question was when Jon Snow got tired of hiding from the dragon and he jumped in front and just roared at the joint, and the blue eyes white dragon was getting ready to light that fire. Would Jon Snow have survived it?
Oh nah.
Like that was the big question. They didn't answer it for us, but like in that moment I was like, oh snap. And we about to really find out. Cause remember,
I didn't even think about that. That's actually a good.
Like we know 100% Daenerys can survive the fire. We've seen her. they led up to it. They show her play with it. Then, like, when she walks the dragon eggs into the fire, burns alive, and then remember
she kills all the cows,
the palace,
she burned it down.
Like, she has survived fire multiple times.
Yeah, I guess that's the question though. Is like,
and but her brother couldn't. So just being a Targaryen doesn't mean you can.
Well, I mean, technically he didn't survive fire. Technically it's not like it wasn't the fire. I mean, he did get a crown of liquid molten gold poured on his head top. I don't think Daenerys gonna make it through that either. But I mean, yeah, it's basic same principle. Like, guess, you know, heat. I don't know if it's a heat or is it fire or like it's too many like unanswered questions.
Yeah, it's a lot of unanswered questions. And then like, would the fact that was the blue-eyed white dragon have made a difference? Because he spits that white fire, you know, like that white hot fire flame. Like, could he have survived? But nah, it was getting real close. Like, because the dragon was lighting up. Like, we was about to find out. Like, but Blue Eyes was about to attack with white lightning. Like,
I think it was about to be a wrap. I think John was out of options, out of time. He saw everybody like was catching the burner, and he was just like, I mean, I ain't got no choice. I gotta do. And he made peace with his fate. Either I die fighting the dragon, or like, you know, everyone else just is gonna die. I don't know if he was gonna make it through that one there.
Yeah, I mean, they've gone through painful stakes to never have Jon Snow have a fire experience. They have gone through very painful. There's been like fire around him, like all kinds of stuff. For some reason, Jon Snow never has to actually encounter bodily fire, you know, come across him, where we've seen it on screen. Like, does this affect him? Yes or no? So it's still like an open mystery. Like, can Jon Snow survive fire? Like, that's still one of those open mysteries. But I love the way that like the Red Woman and Arya at the exact same time go like, green eyes, brown eyes, blue eyes. And then like the Red Woman looks at her and is like, what do we tell Death? And she's like, not today. You know, and then just starts jetting somewhere. Like,
yeah, even that phrase, I was like wondering about that, because I'm like, is that just like a common phrase that they say in Essos? Or because, you know, the only person who'd ever told Arya that was Serial Pharrell. And I mean, yeah, he was from Essos too, but that's the only person and the only time they ever even say that phrase. And, you know, that's all the way back in season 1. So it's like, does she just know because she's the Red Woman? Like, what's the significance there? I'm like, because not even like freaking Jaqen Hagar said that, and he was like,
no,
the god of death.
Right. Like, and soon, but as soon as she says, she's like, what do we say? What do we say to Death? And Arya says, not today. And then just starts trucking, like, you know, just starts going somewhere like at maximum speed. We gotta talk about Theon taking that L.
Oh, we saw that coming.
We saw
from the time my man said at the meeting, he's like, I'll protect you. I was like, rap. I said, you redeemed yourself. You got your sister out of jail. You came back to Sansa. You apologized to Bran for taking over the castle. And you say you're going to defend yourself from the Night King. I was like, you had a good run, my dude. Salute.
Dog, what really made me, for a second, I thought he was going to survive. When he beat all them joints out, it wasn't until Bran, like, I was still on the fence, even when Bran told him, you're a good man, Theon.
Oh, now that was sealed it there.
Yo, I know it. In hindsight, that was a wrap. But what I felt like what Bran was saying to him was like, he wasn't giving him the Doctor Strange, this is the one universe where I survived.
That was the peaceful goodbye. Like, that was because if you think about it, Theon's whole thing his entire life was, he always felt out of place, and he was like never accepted. He couldn't like fit in. Like, he was a prisoner with the Starks, and his own family didn't accept him when he went back. He just wanted to be treated like as a good person, like wherever he was, and people wherever he was always reminding him like, oh no, you're not really driving right. So like that was what I was like, and the storyline confirmed. Bran just cemented it even harder than
I didn't know that Bran was telling him like, go kill yourself though. I felt like it
was a rap.
Yeah, he knew it was a rap. But I felt like what Bran was telling him was like, you've done enough. Like, I took it as like, you've done enough. Like, you don't have to go out like a G. I know you're about to, but like you said, in hindsight, it's pretty obvious that Bran realizes these are the last words he's ever going to get.
Nobody else. the Night King rode it with like 8 goons on his left and his right. Like, it was only Theon with a little spare. I mean, the odds was definitely not in their favor. Like, it's not like he saw Arya in the car like, yo, chill. Like,
yeah,
you don't even need to do this right now.
But did you catch Brandon sees Arya at the last second?
I heard. I have to go back and see it. I heard like.
Yeah, go
like,
back and rewatch it because he's looking at the Night King, right? No, my fault, not Bran. A White Walker. A White Walker looks to the right.
So that's why the Night King turns around.
Yeah, a White Walker looks to the right. And then I think Bran moves his eyes, and then like you just hear her go, ah! He turns around, he grabs her hand, and then she uses the same trick she did to Brienne. Yeah. She drops the joint in one hand, grabs it with the other hand, and gives him the burner on the exposed skin. Like now it's a wrap, and now it's time for that real villain, Cersei. Which is crazy because my instinct has throughout the whole show, my instinct was always that Arya was going to. I thought she was always gonna kill a big villain, but I always thought it was gonna be Cersei. I always thought that Arya was gonna be the one who is going to kill Cersei. You know, like, I thought that was her big thing. So, like, when she killed the Night King, I was like, oh, hot. You know? Caitlin, got anything you want to add to the Game of Thrones battle? Your thoughts on the battle?
No.
Because you was talking about, like, you had thoughts on the Red Woman lighting up the swords and the trenches and... Remember?
No. Just a part.
Alright.
You guys know more about it than I do.
We'll tag you back in when we finish up Avengers then. Alright, yeah. So
those Rocky armies.
Yeah.
So I hated to see.
R.I.P. on sorry.
As soon as she lit the flames on the sword, so I was like, oh, the sword's gonna go out one by one. And that's gonna be it. I was hoping that wasn't the entire Dothraki army, cause like those niggas was just so savage. Like Cersei didn't have a chance against them, so to lose. I mean, she still got 2 dragons, but I mean, it ain't the same. Like, Jamie has never been shook off of no battle, and he saw the Dothraki. He was like, son, we'll never beat them. We'll never beat them. He's like, I've seen them in open field, no army in the world could defeat. Like, he was talking that good shit. He was shook as hell.
Yeah, they were. I mean, she really, that's why, like, she had to explain to Sansa, like, I don't know why, I think, she explained directly to Sansa, like, who manipulated who? Like, I was supposed to be, like, sitting on the Iron Throne, yet I'm here fighting your war. Like, you know, but then the real joint was when, her translator was in the tomb, in the crib, and, like, she was like, yeah, you know, like, we still have a problem. And then, like, she was like, yeah, the Dragon Queen, such a problem. You're right. Without her, we'd have no problem. We'd all be dead. Like, like, you know, that is like such a conundrum of like obviously, like, without Daenerys, like, the North would have failed, and then the Night King army would have just moved forward even stronger. Yo, that was so vicious when he just started raising people from the dead to, like, get in Jon Snow's way.
I was like, oh my gosh, he's at it again.
Because the scene was so crazy. Like, Grey Worm had just, like, defeated his people. Jaime and Brienne had just defeated their people. Sam was, like, had been, like, thrown down and tackled by the dead for like the 5th time that episode. Like, everybody was just finally getting ready to catch a breather, and then the Night King was like, but no, though, and brings everybody back to life and was like, let's run it back.
Dog, yeah, I was sick when that happened. I was like, okay, finally, John been chasing him all episode. He got him where he wants him. Like, he's gonna be on some get back. And then the Night King just pulled that BS. I was like, oh my gosh, this nigga is too broken. Like,
dog, super R.I.P. to Sajora.
Yeah, dog.
Dog, he went out like a G. Like,
it had to be you, man.
So that's Theon who caught the burner. Sajora caught the burner. My man from the Night's Watch.
Yeah, Dolores Ed. I seen that coming.
The burner.
Barrick. The nigga with the flame sword.
Oh yeah, my man died. That's what I told Caitlin about that. Like he died 19 times.
I mean, it was an exaggeration about the Hound. It was really only 6, but I mean, the Hound liked to be slicing it. But yeah, that was literally his whole point. Like he kept saying, "I'm here for a reason. I'm here for a reason." His reason was so that he could save Arya, so she could run the dagger through the night.
Yup. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, because his man had died way back when. The dude brings him back
last season when they went behind the wall.
Yeah,
Barry took him out.
My man, the rare hair guy, he survived, right?
Oh, Torment, you know it. I didn't think he was gonna make it.
Yeah, nah, I wasn't even sure if Breon wasn't gonna just get rid of him. He was just talking so crazy that like I wasn't even sure. You know, he was like, "Is the big woman?" Is the big woman still here?
Yeah, he's a savage. Yo.
Yeah. Nah, but yo, that game, and then I was real worried that that squad who spent the night together, I was worried for them.
Oh yeah.
Because the way it went down, where they all like Tyrion, who was it? It was
Tyrion.
You know, like they basically like the back of the class, you know, like, and they had that moment where he knights Brienne, and then like they clap for her, and I was looking at that joint, and I was like, man, somebody in this crew ain't making it out alive. Yo, I looked at that, I was like, yo, somebody's not making it out alive, like. Somebody's catching the burner, but somehow they all made it. Like that was a nice little throw off. Like Game of Thrones is so unpredictable. Like whatever you look at and you think like, oh, this means that, or you know, like nah, like you don't, like you know, it don't, you know, like. Cause it was like, oh, obviously Jon Snow's gonna defeat the Night King. Nope, you know, like. I mean, yo, one of the other funny things, I was talking to someone about this at a poker game. Like, one of the other funniest things I thought was that, like, when Daenerys found out Jon Snow was her nephew, never did she think that was at all a threat to their relationship. She didn't even care about, like, the fact that they was in a relationship.
But you know what she did care about?
You know what she did care about?
Last male Targaryen. And I'm like, oh my gosh, give her the rest for one second.
She was like, yo, are you, she was like, are you coming for my throne? He was like, he doesn't say it, but he looks at her like, yo, like, you're my aunt. And she's like, no, we still good. Like,
but you're not coming from the throne, though.
Are you? Like, we still good as long as you aren't coming for the throne. Like, if you are, we have a problem.
Right.
All right, so, predictions.
I can't even call it now. Like, a lot of this stuff I thought was going to happen, I think it's out the window because Cersei's there and the Night King isn't. So, I mean, I don't even know.
Then again, I think if you can face off against the Night King and win,
oh,
like,
Cersei should be easy.
Trouble.
But the problem is we don't know. They got to do it. I got to see what the tally's looking like next episode because you don't know how much they lost because they lost a lot.
Oh, Little Bear, yo, Little Bear was a G.
Oh, Rihanna,
yeah. Like they was trying to tell her to go to the crypt. She was like, "What, boy? I'm about to put in work." Like, and she literally slayed a giant. Like the whole time during that scene, Caitlyn kept saying, "David versus Goliath, David versus Goliath," and then like when he was squeezing her, she was like, "Oh, I thought we was gonna have David versus Goliath. I thought we was gonna get it." And then like when she poked him in the eye, and it was like, But that was a throwback too. What was it? Arya gives Sansa her dagger, and Sansa's like, yeah, that because that's what Jon told her when she hadn't had a battle yet. Yo, Tyrion and Sansa look like they had really accepted fate too. That made me think of like when Rocket and Rhodey were holding up the thing, and I think Rhodey tells Rocket, "I'll see you on the other side." Like, yeah. So I mean, that's basically our Game of Thrones views on the battle. Well, was it called the Battle of Winterfell
I think when the episode title came out.
That's what everyone was calling.
At first it was, but the official title it was actually the Long Night. So
the long. That was a long night.
Yeah, they said I mean, that's the original reference within the context of the story for the first time when the White Walkers came and they called it that.
Yeah.
But before the episode, because you know what they've been doing with season 8, they're not releasing the episode titles until after they actually come out.
Right.
No synopsis, nothing. It just says the final season.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then they give you the cast. There's no info.
This was called episode 3.
Yeah, episode 2 was just called episode 2.
Yeah.
It had no title, no.
When you find out what happens, okay, so Night of the Seven Kingdoms. And,
right.
you know, number 1 is Winterfell, but like.
So is that what they all say? They all say like episode 4
until the air. It's like, I think it's like about an hour after the air. Then if you like look on demand or whatever, then it actually has the real title or something like that.
Oh, that's interesting. Like
they're not trying to spoil nothing, I guess.
Kayla, what's that show we watch where the titles be? They just give like,
The Good Place, right?
Nah, it's something else. It's the Magicians. Like, they just give like the most obscure descriptions ever to like throw you off. So, for example, if someone becomes a fish, you know, because like someone cast a spell to like made them a fish, and then like one of their mans comes to like save them, it'll just say like Quentin sees a fish, like, you know, so and so takes a snack. Like,
like it's like not very descriptive at all.
Yeah,
like,
they're purposely misleading, even though it does occur. It's like clickbait kind of like.
Yeah, even if you look at the previous synopsis, like snapshots of like older Game of Thrones episodes, they say the same thing. Like when Theon first goes back home, like in season 3, one of it is like, it's like Theon drowns. Like, of course, he didn't literally drown. He just rededicated himself to, you know, that iron born way of life.
Yeah.
You know, and then it said, like in For the Door episode, you know, when Bran's dumbass gets everybody murked by like Morgan without, you know, the 3-Eyed Raven there. It says Bran learns a great deal.
Yeah.
He learned the cost of not listening. You know, he also learned in that episode about when his father was at the tower, like before he saw, you know, Lyanna, and it was some other things he did end up learning, but, you know, so it was just interesting, like how they title or how the information they give in their synopsis is to make you, like you said, it's like
throw you off, kind of like
they tell you, but they don't tell you.
They don't do the Marvel and show you a scene that doesn't actually appear, but they hit
like
you with
Black Widow shooting the targets. I don't know if you go back and look at some of the trailers now for Endgame. First of all, they did a very good job. I think I only saw like one, but they did a very good job of not really showing like anything that happened like past probably the first like 30 minutes of the movie, maybe. They showed them in the little white time jumpsuits, but you don't know what that's for. They have some lines of dialogue in there. Thanos isn't really in it at all. I didn't hear it. At least in the one I saw, he didn't say anything. But there was a clip where Black Widow was shooting at some targets. It's like they were prepping to go to war. But she never did that scene in the movie at all. I was looking for it again on this second time. It never came through. Just like Hulk running with them in Infinity War, obviously that never happened. It was the Hulk busting armor instead. So yeah, but that's good. I prefer that. I'm not trying to loan nothing.
No spoilers. Okay, so 56 minutes 15 seconds in, switching back to Infinity Wars. Me and Caitlin saw Doctor Strange last night, and I feel like rewatching Doctor Strange was like real clutch, because because the first time I was looking at the Sorcerer Supreme, like, yo, come off that time stone. Like, Bruce Banner came back in time like 5 years, like, no, even further. You know, he came back 7 years, like, yo, like, come off that time stone. What are you tripping about? But then but when I rewatched Doctor Strange, I was like, oh no, she has a good reason to be like, nah, dog, like, we don't need this time stone. Like, this gonna be, how else we gonna be Dormammu? You know, and then that's why he convinces her. But it's funny, like, now it even makes sense why Doctor Strange gave Thanos the time stone. So that it was like, because there were certain people who needed to hear, like, that he gave it. You know, like that.
Oh, I didn't even think that deep into it. Yeah, so she needed to hear, you know, the Ancient One needed to hear that he gave it up in order to save reality. Obviously, Tony was pivotal because not only did he, do this snap to like win the war, but he also was able to solve, you know, solve what was necessary in order to make time travel work in the first place. So, I mean, he was definitely very pivotal.
That's why I went back and watched Iron Man 2, which gave me a lot of context for when Tony Stark's heart is failing and he has to create a brand new element in order to, save himself. And he does it kind of the same way. Like he sees this thing of his dad's when he's trying to apologize to Pepper. And then that's what gives him the spark of okay, this is how we gotta do it. So when he's doing the dishes, by the way, there's also a picture of his dad. On the thing where he was when then he picks up that other picture with him and Spider-Man.
That sealed the deal right there.
Yeah, and it was gotta do it. But that was that same inspiration. It was his dad who said, "I'm limited by my time, Tony, but you're the one who's gonna fix this arc reactor problem." And then him looking at the picture of his dad, then seeing the Peter Parker, getting the inspiration, then going back and do it. I think now I see that the hug with Peter Parker was a little bit foreshadowed because he hugs his dad.
Okay.
Because remember the whole thing is Tony's not a hugger.
I heard, but yeah, that was the thing that I thought it was, because I was reading there, remember in Spider-Man Homecoming when Spider-Man kept trying to hug him, but like you said, he didn't want to really do it, but this time he was like, oh nah man, I gotta do it this time, I haven't seen you in 5 years.
And that's why we went crazy when we saw that scene the first time. We thought because Tony's not a hugger, and he explained that. But then it's and then when you see how weird his dad is about it, it's his dad wasn't a hugger.
I mean, technically, he was that was a stranger he met that day. He was
true,
all right,
true.
Why you looking at me? Yeah. That's why he said, thank you for
you've done for this country. Thank you for everything you've done for this country.
You've done for this country, for the world, whatever.
Yeah.
So, he had to play it off, obviously.
Yeah, he had to play it off. But that was kind of the first one he had opened up on that. So that was a foreshadow to then when he sees Spider-Man and when he freaks out, and then it's funny when Spider-Man's this is nice, but it also then explains why it's it gives you a better context of why Peter Parker is so blown when he returns to school. He's so blown. We forgot, ever since he's been introduced, he's been introduced, through Tony Stark. Even when he's, the first person who gives him his suit, a legitimate suit is Tony Stark. Yo, you've been running around. He's the one who goes and gets him for Civil War. It's yo, we going to Queens. We need to get the kid. That's where he gets introduced. And then there's he ain't been Spider-Man without Tony Stark. Except for like funny stuff that appeared up on YouTube. Like he has not been a real Spider-Man without Tony Stark this whole time. Which then is gonna make a lot more sense why Nick Fury is gonna step in the Far From Home.
Oh, he's in there?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, my bad. It was a trailer that I couldn't avoid.
I haven't seen none of. They haven't. All I know is Mysterio's in it.
It was a trailer I couldn't avoid. So it popped up.
I mean, Sam has been criminally underutilized ever since that first Avenger movie came out. He put the whole team together, obviously from Iron Man 1, with the plan and everything like that. And then he had a good role in the Avengers, but he ain't really did
Winter Soldier, he got his man.
Oh yeah, of course. So anytime he's in the I like it when he shows up. So he hasn't really been used to his full effect. I mean,
he really put in work in Captain Marvel.
I was gonna say that was cool, but I think maybe it's because it was before he was actually the real Nick Fury. And he was all happy-go-lucky, skipping and clapping and shit. But I like the characterization, his after he loses the eye and. He's the director and everything like that. The man with the plan, because he be putting in mad work.
It's crazy too that because we know that Captain America and we know that the real Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. aren't making no more movies. Except they might do a few cameos, but that it's a wrap.
Robert's done unless it's in the past.
Yeah, he done. He's done for real. Done. Unless it's a hologram or something. I like the did we catch it the first time that he said mommy never wears what I buy her, but then she was in her suit. We caught that the first time. I know what I caught this time that I didn't catch the first time around. Remember when the Wasp was so mad, before she was the Wasp, but she was so mad at Scott because he went to go help out.
Oh, without her.
Yeah, she was like, you should have brought me with you.
Yeah,
But then this time around, when he's like, yo, how long is it going to take you to load up the time machine? And he said 10 minutes. And he's like, and then she's like, we got you, Cap. And then like, they both shrink and she grabs him and flies off. And it was like, oh, like the scene then has even more context because Thanos destroys their back of the bus time machine. And that's why Iron Man is looking at Doctor Strange like, dog.
You said it was sweet.
Right. Shit ain't sweet. Like, what's going on? Like, we got the whole squad, like, and the time machine just got blown up. The one joint is blown up, you know, because Frug Nebula blew up the one joint. He's like, this was our only chance. Like, somebody gonna have to snap that finger and take that L. Like, and the Hulk can't do it twice. I'm thinking, like, is it gonna be me? and Doctor Strange looks at him like, yeah, dog.
You gotta take that L real quick.
Cause I'm trying to stop this hurricane from I'm trying to stop this tidal wave from washing us all ashore. So you gonna have to take care of that. And I also think one of the things I caught was that like Stephen Strange was a little toned down because he didn't have the time stone. You know, that was one of the reasons why he was a little toned down the second go round. He didn't have the Infinity Stone. Like the whole first movie, like this time he's a way better sorcerer. But the whole first movie, basically by the time he starts wrecking, he's wrecking with an Infinity Stone.
But I don't think he was necessarily using it though. Like, cause I mean, especially since the only thing that one really does is time.
Whenever he lights up green, he was using the Infinity Stone. Like,
I don't recall him even using it in Infinity War. He started.
No, Infinity War. No, you're right. He didn't use it in Infinity War.
He started to, but then my man Damar got it.
Right. But he uses it a lot in the actual Doctor Strange.
Yeah, he uses it all day in that.
Like,
I mean, he was like a trash sorcerer, and
he's making up for the fact that he's not really.
He was compensated.
He's not really like that, so he's using the Infinity Stone. Right. I definitely feel like rewatching Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2, like, put me up on game. I feel like probably watching Iron Man 3 that there might have even been some more stuff. Like, I'm sure, because I remember there was a lot of PTSD. I also caught the connection, like in Iron Man 1, there was like this whole, they was trying to inaccurately label him having PTSD when he comes back from the cave and he doesn't want to make weapons anymore. Like, I rewatched the movie and there's like, he's doing all this crazy stuff, like not wanting to make weapons no more, all that, because he has PTSD. And they were kind of using it as like an attack. It also shows you like how the culture has shifted by 2013. Like he's like, no, like I do have PTSD this time because like I flew up into a wormhole, like like from being like, what, PTSD, are y'all serious, to being like, yeah man, like I'm on the struggle, like like. And then the little kid helping him, but this time I firmly noticed him in the...
Oh yeah, right. Definitely just didn't know who he was.
When we watched the movie the first time and we saw Kobe, we was like, what? She wasn't in the movie? So this time I was really looking for her in the funeral. Like I was legit looking for her. And I was like, and I don't know who that was.
That old dude in the back.
That old dude in the back, because it couldn't have been. I don't know who that was. But I feel like